Back in December, the great folks over at Campanaw gifted us an Omnia. And since then, we've had great fun coming up with new recipes and trying things out. Some of them have turned out so well, so delicious, we couldn't be more happy. But of course, they can't all be winners. So in this video, we're going to share a couple of Omnia fails with you and talk about how we could have made it better. Welcome to Adventures with Heckenback. My husband Tim and I love to share travel, camping, and overlanding videos. And of course, part of camping is cooking. Some might argue the best part. We do lots of different kinds of cooking when we're camping, but in this one we're going to focus specifically on the Omnia. Like I said, we've had a lot of successes with the Omnia and we really enjoy cooking with it, but we have had a couple of fails as well. Those are all due to my own poor judgment though. So here we go.
Okay, so here's our plan for this morning. We're kind of winging it, no recipe. I've got a half a tube of hot sausage and a half a tube of mild sausage. I like to mix them. I just cut the tubes in half and put the rest in a freezer for later. Tim's heating up water there for our coffee. So what we're going to do is cook the sausage. I've got some peppers and onions I pre-cut. I'm going to throw some of those in there. I've got jumbo muffins that I have pressed into the Omnia muffin mold here. So we're going to put sausage and peppers in the muffin biscuit, in the biscuits here, and then crack an egg on top of each one and put it in Omnia and see what happens. It may be a hot mess. We'll find out in about half an hour or so. Okay, so I've got the Omnia preheating over there. And I've got the...
Did you say pre-chilling?
Preheating. It's not that cold. It's pretty chilly, but not as bad as it's been.
It's like 40 out, I think.
Yeah. So we've got the sausage and peppers and onions cooked. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting that in the muffin tins here. And then I'll top each one with an egg and some cheese. And we'll see how this goes.
This turned out to be a pretty decent recipe, but here's where I messed up. I way overestimated the size of these Omnia muffin cups. I was using jumbo biscuits and, way overestimated the amount of filling I was going to need for these.
I don't actually think we're going to get an egg in each one of these.
I was planning for the egg to hold everything together.
Maybe what I'll do is scramble a few eggs, and would have made a lot more sense if I'd went and got a little spoon. So I'm rethinking this now. Oh, that was bad. I just poured egg everywhere. Okay, so this wasn't such a great idea. I can see like the muffin cups aren't big enough. What I really should have done was just used the silicone ring mold here, put the biscuits in the bottom, put the sausage on top. I was trying to keep it smaller, but this is too small to be able to put all that in there. Well, let's sprinkle a little cheese on top. We're kind of invested now, so I'm gonna have to clean all this picnic table up and everything. They can't all be winners. Look at this mess. So when we do dishes, I'm gonna have to scrub the table off there. And this sausage we will let cool, and I'll put in a baggie and we'll save it for breakfast tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll just make like a sausage egg scramble. So we're getting there. Gonna give them a little bit longer. Try to cook the biscuits a little more. And then we'll see what we've got. Got all my mess cleaned up over here. Letting the sausage cool. Don't want to put it in the cooler warm. It's only about 40 degrees out though, so it should cool off pretty well. Making our second pot of coffee there. Tim named our coffee pot over there, our French press, is named Max. Max makes 2 cups of coffee. Our travel, ooh, I cannot talk this morning. Makes 2 travel cups of coffee. So we usually make 2 pots. One to have while we're having breakfast, and then one to take with us where we're going.
I'm on my second cup as soon as we go and crack that one. So
So that's going to be a second breakfast cup. Okay, so here's what they look like. I mean, they look pretty good. Just not what I was expecting. Like, I couldn't get as much sausage and egg and everything in them, you know, because they're mostly biscuit. Maybe if I had used smaller biscuits or like split the biscuits in half, then I could have got more in the cups themselves. We'll see how cooked.
I'm willing to take a bite, but I'm afraid I'm going to burn my mouth.
They're pretty hot.
Yeah, they're hot.
Flavor-wise, these turned out pretty good. Tim really enjoyed them. If I make them again, I will definitely use smaller biscuits instead of the jumbo biscuits, or we'll separate off just a few layers.
Not as much filling, like I said, is I think it would have probably worked better if I like split it in half layers, like separated the layers. Or those were jumbo biscuits, just got regular biscuits and stretched them out a little bit more.
Yeah, you won't like them.
Or no, are they good?
Another option might have been to scramble the eggs and then to go ahead and mix the sausage and everything in with the scrambled eggs and just to pour that in the muffin cups.
I do have 2 biscuits left over there as well, because there's only 6 muffin cups. Well, maybe I'll try cooking those by themselves after I finish the hot mess. Okay, so I left them in a little bit too long. It didn't take long at all for those to cook, just throwing them on the grate in there.
It took the sausage cups a good half hour or more to bake, but the biscuits by themselves didn't take long at all. So if I do that again in the future, really have to watch them. Probably 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay, so tonight we're gonna try this potato and ham casserole. I've got hash brown potatoes. I put some broccoli, mix some broccoli in there, because we're always trying to get more veggies. Tim's not. I'm always trying to get more veggies. Gonna put some onions and peppers in here too.
So this was a casserole recipe I had seen online, and I was trying to adapt it for camping and for the Omnia. One of the changes I made was to add all of the extra veggies.
And then some ham. And I'm trying to do this in the potato bag so I don't have to dirty a dish to mix it all up. We'll see if this works.
This was the first big fail. There was no way to thoroughly mix everything in that bag.
So far, so good. But we haven't got to the wet ingredients yet. Getting pretty full. Okay, let's see. See about that. I put a little seasoned salt. Maybe I'll do that on top. That'll be easier. So a can of cream of chicken soup. This is where things could get messy.
I also started out trying to mix all of this in this bag with a tablespoon. It was absolutely ridiculous.
So let's see, about a half a cup, I think is what we'll try. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Oh, I have a bigger spatula. That might make it easier.
So by this point, that bag is pretty full, and there was no way to really mix those wet ingredients all the way down into the bottom of the bag. So with this quantity, you definitely would need a bowl to mix this all up. But that quantity is going to present another problem in a minute.
Okay, let's see how well. I probably still have to mix a little. What I'm going to do is put part of it in and then put some cheese. Oh, things are going to go bad.
Bag.
Well, I need a bowl. And I have a pot. Like, I could have absolutely mixed it in a pot. But I'm trying not to make more dishes.
I know exactly what you're trying not to do.
You may be able to tell here as I'm dumping things in that it is not mixed together very well. Those wet ingredients aren't incorporated.
I have to wash the table again because I dropped a whole bunch of it. And of course there's too much.
So this is the big issue with this recipe. Any of you that have cooked with an Omnia probably know you're only supposed to fill it about 2/3 of the way full. You are not supposed to fill it all the way up to the top of the silicone ring mold.
A little bit more in here. Yeah, I should have just done half the bag and saved the other bag for the other half for breakfast tomorrow. That's what I should have done.
Just like with the first recipe, I think that this is one that could be saved. The first thing I would do is only use half of the potatoes. Then I think I would go ahead and try it with a whole can of soup, because what are you going to do with a partial can? And maybe half the amount of French onion dip.
I am not on a roll this weekend.
You're perfect this weekend. As always.
Uh-huh.
So this is way too full, and this is going to end up being a problem when we cook it. What happens when it's over full like this is that the outside starts to burn before the middle is fully cooked. Luckily, these are all things that were already pre-cooked, so it wasn't like really a health concern, just a quality concern.
I think we're going to give it another 15 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes. Okay, so we're going to call this good. Hopefully. Got a little bit of a crust there. Oh no!
I was pretty frustrated by this point. I had planned for this to take about an hour to cook, and like I said, it was at least an hour and a half, maybe even longer to get it to this point. And like I said, you can see like the outside is beginning to burn. The middle is warm, but it's not really baked the way that I had imagined. The flavors were good, so it ended up tasting really good, but it just wasn't what I had imagined it to be. I was so irritated with myself, I didn't even film us tasting it. I definitely think both of these recipes have potential. My biggest fail with the Omnia so far, I didn't catch on camera. I tried to make a low-carb apple muffin recipe, and they were absolutely horrible. We'd love to hear in the comments about some of your camp cooking fails and some of your successes. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.